Today I'm going to cover the elevated or deficit handstand push-up variations or progressions. I'm going to start with the easiest ones and slowly progress to the harder variations. I personally train these at the playground today on these sets of steps. They worked really well, but you could do them on boxes, on steps, on P-bars, or like a low wall or something. So a great warm-up and essential for the harder variations is the shoulder stand. Just make sure that you have externally rotate your hands, take the collarbone or chest down towards the edge of the box and see if you can find balance. Initially in a tuck position, and just make sure you get that angle right so you feel like you're in the middle of your balance and not falling. And then as you get comfortable with that tuck position, slowly open up towards your straight position. And then you have two ways of entering that straight position. You could open up from a tuck, and you could step straight into the full position. But whichever way, you want to try and make sure that you have control throughout the movement, both on the entry and the exit. Then it's working deficit pike handstand push-ups. Now obviously this is going to be a little bit dependent on flexibility, so you have to play around with your feet. You can bend the knees slightly and make sure you still keep turning those hands externally. So open the chest up as you come down and try and keep the hip up nice and high. A lot of people with these ones that they're starting is they take it too much like a push-up. So try and get the hip nice and high and have chest or collarbone touch the edge of the box or wall. Now the next two don't necessarily go in order in terms of which is harder or easier. It depends on your strength and your balance. But we have the eccentric. So handstand on the edge of the wall and then slowly lowering down to that shoulder stand. Now trying to stay in the middle of your balance window as you come down is really important with this one. So we want to think that your balance window in a handstand is like this, and as you come down it changes like that. So you need to stay inside that window. If you go outside, if you hit the edge of the window, you'll start to fall down. If you hit the edge of the window at the top, you'll start to fall that way. Now ideally with the eccentric there'll be no points where you drop or move fast, and if you do struggle with the balance on this one, I'd recommend you still do the same thing but have toe assist using a wall. So with the partial range reps, I normally teach this from the top down with the handstand push-ups, but because we're working deficit handstand push-ups today, we're going to play around with that deficit. Your head and shoulders is below your hands. So starting in the shoulder stand position and then just pushing up a little bit, coming back down again. Remember, you're in that balance window as you push up and down, so there will be like an angle change the higher you come through the partial range. And then it's full range repetitions. Now obviously with full range, we're starting in the handstand, lowering all the way down to your shoulder stand and back up again. Now initially you'd work single reps, then once you're comfortable with single reps, you start doing multiple reps. And then it's 90 or 180 degree handstand push-ups. So with this one, if you face the wall, you're going to do the 180 degrees. So you start in that support position, you lean forwards and you go all the way up into a handstand. If you turn around the other way, then you can only go down as far as the floor is unless you're on a wall. If you're on a wall, that would be 180 degrees on both sides. So facing one direction, your toes would start and finish on the floor, and facing the other direction, your feet would start and finish on the wall. Now we can do the eccentrics of these movements, which is obviously easier, and then progression to either partial range or attempting the full movements. And then you can play around with combining them. So you see this one, I've done the 180 degrees up into handstand and then I turned around. Now if this was a wall, I could do this on the other side of the wall, but because this is more of a step down, I had to turn around. So turn around 180 degrees and then do a normal handstand push-up again. You can see I'm getting a little bit tired at this stage. The legs spray open a little bit at the top on the way back up. And then I finished the session with a one arm on both sides and a full range handstand push-up. Normal deal, let me know if you have any questions on these. And let me know if there's any other wall versions that I haven't covered. That'll be interesting to know. Thumbs up and subscribe will be appreciated, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks guys.